Hey folks, been about 12 days or so since my last video, so I've got company coming this afternoon and probably going to be some tomato picking going on. And before we go and pick and destroy all the evidence, I wanted to at least have a chance to show you guys some of these beautiful ripe tomatoes. I want to start with one thing though. In my first video I said my name is MHP, and MHP stands for Mobile Home Park. I said that I was trying to grow food for people in the community. I didn't mean people in the countryside around here. What I meant was people that live right here to rent from us. We've got 30 families plus or minus, give or take, whoever's moving in and out. And they're not rich. They're not even hardly middle class, I guess. It was just like it's poor around here. And folks are struggling, so I figured one way that I could help people was to try to come up with a way to grow food and get something on the table that they could eat, and didn't have to go to the store and spend an arm and a leg for, and actually have them something that was fit to eat, as opposed to that junk you get at the fast food and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's start right here. These were the so-called marglobes that are not, and what I decided to do was I go ahead and top them and make all the energy go to the lower fruit that was already there, and hopefully go ahead and ripen up, and then I'll be done with it. I needed this little slot right here anyway because I want to put another rack to put my seedlings on. This is the first spot to get sun in the morning, so I really wanted to be able to utilize this space for seedling production as opposed to just growing a few more odd-shaped tomatoes. This was, if you recall, was my volunteer that my neighbor brought to me when it was just starting to bloom. This thing is absolutely done wonderful. It is now volunteering to go all the way up to the top of the greenhouse, well, as far as it can go right here, which is about 8 foot. I got 4 nice stems on it, strung up nice and neat, and I have counted on this thing, and there's about 40 or so tomatoes on this one vine. They are not very big, a little bit smaller than a tennis ball, but they are some good eating, that's for sure. Right here, this is more of those that were supposed to be marglobes that are not. And something I have noticed the last couple of days is they had decided to try to set some blossoms. This one right here has a great big old truss with about 10 blossoms on it, so I may leave this and see how it does. See if they do better, you know, cutting the tops out. I don't know. Somebody, I think a country boy or somebody down in Texas had suggested maybe save the seeds from these and plant them out and see what I got the second time around. So I think I may do that. But the seeds that I'm going to save are from that one right there. That's going to be my first entry into the Bayou Gardener vegetable competition for the largest tomato. Should go out a pound or so. I don't expect that to be the biggest one by far, you know, for the whole season. But like when I was bass fishing, if you get back to the scales early and you weigh in, you can take the lead. You'll be in first place on that leaderboard for a little while. It might only be till the next boat comes in, but you'll be up there for a little while. So given the fact that I don't know of anybody else who is growing tomatoes right now that's entering the competition, I should stay up there till sometime in May, June, something like that. So we'll see. It'll be fun to see. This is another plant, supposed to be in the same marglobe. Now if you remember the tomato I just showed you, these are tomatoes out of the same pack. They don't even look anywhere near the same. These are round tomato. The other one looked like a giant brandywine or something like that, but everything came out of the same pack. Down on the back side here, you can see my broccoli is doing very well. Won't be too long. There's 4 plants up there that were done a little bit earlier. They should, in another couple weeks, go ahead and start to make a little head in there. We'll have a little bit of broccoli. My little lettuce right here is doing good. I'm probably going to have to put them in some bigger containers though, because no way I'm going to make a head of lettuce in a 5-inch pot. Just don't think that's going to happen. And down here you can see a whole lot of the tomatoes have ripened. There are several missing. My neighbor came by earlier this week and decided it was a good time for some tomato sandwiches, so I went ahead and picked several tomatoes and shared them with a few people. and they are good. These things are actually producing blossoms fairly well right now, setting fruit pretty good. Something I did was go ahead and put a second purlin up at the top so I could run these things a little more vertical as opposed to going diagonally, going over to the center purlin right there at the top. And I think it'll be easier to keep them on a string because naturally they want to go up straight anyway, so that should help a little bit. Again, they're just setting fruit. These are Rutgers, and these are some pretty tomatoes. They really are. Nice and round, no blemishes, no blossom rot, nothing of that nature. Everything doing good, and I'm looking forward to a whole lot of tomatoes from these, at least till they get up to the top of the greenhouse. And then when you get there, I've got enough slack, enough extra on that string where I can drop them down like typical greenhouse production does when they drop them down about a foot a week. But I'll worry about that when they get there. Today is a nice warm day, so I've got my window open over here on the northwest corner so I can bring in some cooler air. I got the fan turned off right now because I don't want the noise. Right here we had rape salad. Now we got broccoli, and it looks like it's going to go ahead and grow. I was a little bit worried when I first transplanted it because we had a couple of warm days and it looked like the sun just beat on it and it didn't look like it wanted to grow, but now it's getting it in gear. My onions are looking good. Some of them big enough where the tops are starting to lean over. Maybe you're supposed to just cut the tops of them off and eat those. I don't know, but hopefully they'll keep doing what they're doing, and about the middle of March when I start ready to plant get ready to plant potatoes, I'll pull some of these up and try to grow some of them softball sized onions like Donald does down in Louisiana. Mustard greens, they just keep on growing. Every time I cut them back, they come back. Lettuce, same deal. It looks kind of crappy down there right now where it's been cut so many times, but there's still plenty of big leaves on this side right here, and they make a good sandwich right now with that lettuce and tomato. And my tomato suckers looking very good. These were done January 1st, and as you can see, we got a nice root system on the bottom, so I wanted to see how long it would take before I could get a sucker that was suitable for transplanting, and it's working out to be about 30 days, which tells me if I want to plant some tomatoes 1st of May, I need to start the suckers 1st of April. Nice and simple. These are the bush pickles that I was having a little bit of trouble getting pollinated because I had all female blossoms, but finally made some males, and as you can see, my I guess plant fornicating skills have actually paid off. Actually making some nice little cucumbers there. They're not going to get too big, they're just pickling size anyway, but they'll do good. Cut them up, take them and put them in a salad with that lettuce and tomato, and put a little Italian dressing on top of it, a little ranch dressing, and go to town. This right here was the Market More cucumber, and same situation. I had all females to start with and no males, and it still made very few males. So what I did was I took this one right here and I crossed it with the bush pickle, and it looks like you see it swelling up right there, so it's going to make a cucumber. And if it makes a decent one, what I do is I'll save the seeds from it because I know it's a cross, and I'll plant it out and see if I get a Market More pickle or a bush Market More, something like that. Well, see what I end up with anyway. It'd be cool to get a bush Market More and have a little bush type vine like this, and have 4 or 5 7, 8 inch cucumbers at the bottom of it. That would be pretty cool. Right here, I think y'all saw the rack that Donald had, or he posted his buddy had made. I looked at the same rack, and when the next day when I saw his, I figured I better go ahead and go to Lowe's and get one before everybody else saw what was going on and decided to grab them. So I got it. They're like 70 bucks, and it'll work out good. I just put this little cheap $10 fluorescent light on it a couple of days ago. Got a piece of plastic on top to prevent condensation from dripping down through everything. My seedlings, these were done on January 16th. My pak choi, my Dursba tomatoes. Here's the Diva parthenocarpic cucumber, meaning they don't need pollination, which is exactly what I need inside the greenhouse here. My Camelot bell peppers, you got German Johnson, Brandywine Red, Kusterlee, and more pak choi. And down here is all the little tomatoes I'm doing from seeds that Tootie sent me from down in Mississippi. A bunch of heirloom, fancy stuff, a lot of determinants that I picked out first. There was about 20 of them, but I picked out some of the determinants so I could plant them inside here, more over to the sidewall, and not have to worry about the height of them. A couple of them that I'm kind of looking forward to is just Carol's, I think Carol Chico Big Paste and Sicilian Salsa. They're both supposed to make a huge tomato, and I may be able to win the gardening competition with one of those. If not, I still got the Kusterlee up here. I've seen some of those grapefruit sized tomatoes that Donald has grown down there, so I'll try to duplicate the same thing. And my squash, still haven't made anything other than nice pretty blossoms. I just can't get it coordinated, get the male and females together at the same time, although I do have a couple on here that I think will make. I did find the male flower and tried to pollinate them, so we'll see what happens. And my stove right here, real quick, is just phenomenal. One of the things that I did was I went and put a grate in the bottom of it about 10 days or so ago, and I got it just in time. This thing gets so hot now with a grate in the bottom of it, it's ridiculous. It'll go all the way to 900 degrees on this end thermometer here, and it gets so hot the thermometer start to curl up and fall in the ground there. And I think last Sunday morning when it was at 2:45 a.m. I was up. It was 9 degrees outside and like 60 degrees inside the greenhouse here. So that thing was putting out some heat, and it has been a lifesaver. Other than some of the early hassle I had when I had the wrong type of wood and didn't have any good wood, once I got some seasoned oak and I've cut some more wood recently that was dry, it has operated so much better, and without it there's no way I could have done this, but that thing right there has been a lifesaver. So with that, I'll finish this one off, get ready to greet my company, and we're going to pick some tomatoes today, which January 29th 2011, right here in Southern Virginia. And going to have a nice, may even fix a salad, have lettuce, tomato, and pick that one cucumber and make a little salad. I don't know, salad or sandwiches, either one. We're going to do some fresh eating today and have a good time. So y'all take care and God bless.